Hi, welcome to this video for Marketing Revamped. I'm Jeff Caravantis and I'm so excited to have you here. What I'm going to do in this particular video is I'm going to show you how to utilize a single audience but then break it down into segments when you have multiple sources of signups. So let's say you're like me and you're trying out MailChimp, and for the free account on MailChimp there's only one audience, which means that you have essentially one list. And so that means that all the sources where you might have people coming into your audience might be different audiences or different sources feeding into one audience, which means you need some way of identifying where these people have come from and what their particular interests are so that you can segment them and target them with a very focused and relevant campaign. So let me just go ahead and jump into my own business and show you, a little bit more clear example of what I'm talking about. Here is my company's website. So as you can imagine, Jupiter Strategies LLC, it's a pretty website. People like it. The list that we were kind of looking at, the audience that I currently have is based off of this website. And people are signing up for the newsletter because they want to hear about, the things that are, that I'm talking about here on this page. It's a newsletter that's probably going to get sent out about monthly or so, not super often, and it's not going to contain a lot of sales pitches and stuff like that. Another asset that I have within Marketing Revamped Marketing Revamped, but within Jupiter Strategies LLC, we have a couple different brands. Marketing Revamped is the one that I'm currently working hard on. And if you came to Marketing Revamped on the particular day that I am recording this video, you would see this page. And it's basically just a little way for people to go ahead and show interest in Marketing Revamped. Now, while Marketing Revamped is owned by Jupiter Strategies LLC, it's got a different theme to it than other Jupiter Strategies LLC products. And so everybody who signs up here needs to be identified as a Marketing Revamped newsletter person so that I can then send them things related to Marketing Revamped. I would not necessarily send somebody who opted into Jupiter Strategies the same content that I would to Marketing Revamped. Now, it's certainly possible that people will join in both lists, which they'll get the content for each of those essentially separate groups, but that is something that I need to be able to segment and know who is interested in what. Now, like I said, I'm trying out MailChimp. I've used Aweber in the past, and in my Aweber account I had multiple lists. Well, in MailChimp, a single list is called an audience, and if you have the free version, you get one audience. So the question is, okay, if I have multiple sites or multiple sources, you can also use the trick that I'm going to teach you in this video. If you have multiple pages and you want to, and with each with their own little embedded sign-up form, you could figure out what page are people signing up on your email list and joining your audience from using this exact technique. For this technique, you are going to have to be able to edit your own embed forms. You're going to have to be able to edit your own website. You're going to have to be familiar at least with some basics of CSS and HTML. And I'm going to demonstrate my preferred solution for that, which is Webflow as well, and show you how to do this in Webflow. But you can certainly use this information and apply it to your specific, web development program. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you the first few things that you need to do. Number one is you need to have your form designed. So this is Webflow. It's basically the same thing right here. And you need to have your form designed the way that you want it, or know what it's going to look like, and know specifically what variables are you going to request. So this is this is just a quick fill out your email and then I'll start emailing you kind of thing. If I wanted to, I could collect names, I could collect phone numbers, I can collect country of origin, some GDPR stuff, or whatever, that complicated European law. I could collect all kinds of information from this thing, and I would need to know what it is that I'm interested in collecting. Now, I'm only going to collect emails, at least for now. That's my only thing that I'm really interested in, but I need to go ahead and make the form over here in MailChimp. So within my audience, I'm going to manage the audience by going to sign up forms. And then I'm going to go to Form Builder, and I've already done this because, again, it's already been hooked up here. If you went ahead and signed in here for the newsletter, it would automatically go ahead and add you. I'll just go ahead and demonstrate real quick that it works for Jupiter Strategies LLC. I'm going to have them opt in, and try it again, and there we go. And so, it's going to ask you to confirm, well, it's going to confirm the subscription, that it's added to the list. So let's go back there. Let's just go run back to the audience real quick. Let's go back to audience 39, and we can actually view the contacts. Obviously, I'm going to blur out some of the contacts here, but we can see support, Jupiter Strategies, and I want you to pay attention. This says site, and this says JS LLC. So that tells me, as I'm going to segment this list, who has joined. So if I actually look at my segments, so view segments for the newsletter, every one of these people is invested here in the newsletter. And again, I have to blur out the emails there. But every one of these people is now in a segment. These were all imported. However, the embed form, as I was testing it, that enabled me to do this technique here, and that's how I confirm this technique in fact works. So now I can send a campaign to this particular segment, and it would be the newsletter for Jupiter Strategies LLC. It would not contain anything about Marketing Revamped unless I was mentioning my company's brand, Marketing Revamped, in a particular manner, for example. But I would assume that they have not opted into Marketing Revamped unless I created a segment based off of people who have both opted into Jupiter Strategies as well as Marketing Revamped. So I'm going to go back to the audience dashboard, and actually I'm going to go back to go ahead and create the form, make sure the form is created. It has to be created on MailChimp basically first, or at least congruently, before you can hook the two up. So you have to have the form on MailChimp, and of course it's a good idea to have your form designed. So you need your form needs to be done, and also you need to create the form in MailChimp as well. So we're going to go ahead and go to our sign up form. Obviously I've already done this there we go. And obviously I've already had to make the form, and there's a bunch of default stuff. If I click this and I don't want to do it, it would give you the defaults that it comes with. Perhaps there's a different one, so something like this. Now I've already deleted a lot of the extra stuff. It was collecting names, GDPR stuff. It was collecting a bunch of other stuff that it gives you, and actually it did not have this particular field right here. So we'll go ahead and restore it to. I'm not going to do that. I can't really do that once I've set it up. But understand, this field was not here. So what I did was, and I'm going to just demo this for you. I went to text and I created a field, and so you can see right now it says untitled. We changed that, and I chose to call it site to make it a little bit different for just the purpose of this exact demonstration here. I'm going to label it differently. However, I'm not actually going to use this particular form, and we need to make a hidden variable. So what's going to happen is when somebody fills out this form, they're only going to have the option to fill out their email address and hit submit. They're not going to see this part, but the source is automatically going, or the site in this case, which is that JS LLC that I used to then filter my people. That's automatically going to be populated with an answer. That answer is always going to be JS LLC. If it was on Jupiter Strategies, and on the Marketing Revamped, it's going to be MR News. So I'll show you how that's going to work here in just a second. So you would need to add a hidden thing. Just use one of these. You don't need both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And so this is what we need. We need this hidden field. And if we ever wanted to edit this, we would just come over here. Like I said, leave it, check that hidden, and make sure to save that. Once you have got the sign up form done in the form builder, then go to the embed forms. And I know I have something over here. Let's go ahead and delete that. And it's kind of giving you a preview of the form right here. And this is the exact embed code. If you wanted to get exactly the same thing that it says right up here, this does not match the style, and I don't want the subscribe thing here. So I'm going to, well, first of all, I'm going to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to, let's see, show required. I'm going to remove the show required field indicators and remove the stuff that it just doesn't have. That'll remove this stuff from the code and make it a little bit more simpler. I've disabled the GDPR field, and I'm also going to eliminate the form title because I really just want what's going to go in here, and I'm even going to eliminate this, but I'll show you how I do that. So now that I have the form stuff here, this whole code right in here, we're going to have to add something to it, and then we're going to have to change some of the information as well. But I'm going to go ahead and grab that and copy it. And one of the things that we want to look for, we're going to do a Control F, and we're going to look for the form action because we are going to need this code. So the form action, and then what comes in between the quotes, so that in between the quotes is very important. But there is one thing that we have to do in order for us to be able to have that hidden field. So we'll go back to audience because I want to show you this, and view contacts. In order for us to have the hidden field where that field is going to be site and that answer is always going to be Jupiter Strategies LLC, or in the case of what we're doing today, MR News, we have to add that to the link in there. So essentially, let's go back to my, it's the text thing here. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to add a little and sign. So and, or I guess it's not ampersand. I don't remember what it is, but the and sign, and then site, which is that tag that we have that that's called site. Remember, it is the go back. It's not just simply capital S. It's not spelled like this. It is spelled like this. You need the field tag, so it's going to be and whatever you named your field tag in here, whatever shows up in here, this is what you need, equals, and then whatever it is that you want it to say. So let's see, so and site, or if you said source or page or whatever it is that you wanted, and site equals, and this is going to be MR News, just like that. So that's how I know it's the Marketing Revamp newsletter. That's one of the things I'm going to change. I'm going to change a few other things in here as well. But one thing I'm going to do for those who are on the blog itself, watching the blog article, is down below in the written portion, I'm going to give you the code that I use for all of this, like a little hotkey, and I'm going to tell you what parts of it you need to change out in order to make it custom fit. Especially if you're using Webflow like I am, you're going to want this thing to custom fit. So what we need to do is, and I'm going to demonstrate one thing that they do show you if you're using Webflow. They have a lot of great tutorial videos, but one thing that they show you to do in order to make this form work, it doesn't actually work. I'm going to show you what they do there. And what they tell you to do is grab the action link. So this is the link that I want to use. I'm going to copy this. Everything inside of the quotes, copy it over, paste it, and then click post, and then publish. So we're going to wait for it to publish. I'm going to close that. Now I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page so that it can have the most recent update. And I'm going to type in support at jupiterstrategiesllc.com. And as we can see, there was something that went wrong. And actually right now I don't have the text set up. So it's like, oops, something went wrong. Please try again. It doesn't work the way that they demonstrate it in the video itself. So that is why I am making this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Get rid of that. What we need to do is actually embed the we need to embed the code from here, but we don't really need all of this because it does contain a lot of extra garbage in there. So I'm going to embed from this div. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit, but that's essentially where we would get our embed code is in here. I'm going to cheat just a little bit and grab the embed code from the actual website that I'm using, and then I'll change out that link. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to change the link. I'm going to put it over here. So let's go ahead and grab an embed. We're going to add it. Embed just above the form wrapper. Put in the code. I need the link, the action form link. So let's grab that, change that out real quick. It's really, the only difference really is at the very end. So MR equals news instead of JSLLC, because it's going to the same exact audience. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and copy everything else over that I already made. So MR news. All right, cool. Now there is a few other things that we need to do in here in order to make this work properly. Because if I go ahead and save and close, we can see the subscribe button works just fine. But the best email box in here, this needs to be a little bit expanded. Now the way I'm actually going to end up controlling it is by essentially having it be the same class as the form wrapper that I originally created. So this is where you need to understand your CSS, because this is how we're going to make it look exactly like this bottom one, and then we're just going to hide this bottom one when we actually publish the site. So one of the things we have to do is we have to go in here and we have to identify the different classes. So the class equals email field, well that's a true class over in Jupyter Strategies LLC, but I changed the classes when I came over here. So the actual class is going to be CS-form-text-field. And that's good. So we'll save and validate. And we can see that it's got the same stuff going on here. Oops. The ID needs to be changed out. Let's see, oops. We're going to go over here, email 2. So this one's email 2, probably because I have a different email embedding on my site somewhere else. So ID field is email-2. This one should be blank, I do believe. Submit button, the class for the submit button is CS email subscribe, which you can see it basically looks the same there. You can also see that they've now established you know, the relationship there. I just need to fix the bottom there. And there we go. So how I'm going to start styling this HTML embed is simply by changing down here on the actual forms, because now the CSS is going to insert those properties inside of the embed. So I can go ahead and do other things like, you know, adjust the padding on it to make it appear the way that I want it to. So I'll just add in 20 padding on the left. We'll just make it congruent. Oops. We're going to change the text to like the light gray color. Yeah. I think maybe 16 and 20 be good. And then we change anything else that we want to change here. Probably 16 there. And 20. And let's change the padding up just a little bit. And let's hide this. Ooh, we need to, first of all, let's just call this, we'll just call it the email. Sign up. And let's give this a little bit of padding there. See how this looks in full screen. All right. So let's, well, first of all, we have to go ahead and add in this extra link, this link right in here. So this MR News. Actually, we don't, because it's already in there. It's in close. So let's publish. Reload. And there we go. Confirm humanity. Here we go. All right, so in this instance, it says that you're already subscribed to the list, and click here to update your profile. And then, of course, it's going to send that off to my support email, and so I can go from there. I will also demonstrate this real quick using a separate email address, but I am going to have to conceal that email address because I don't want to put out all of my email addresses on here. Support at Jupiter Strategies LLC, that is my support desk, and that will fire off some support desk tickets and whatnot. And that's that's how you can contact me if you have any questions, you need some additional assistance. You can reach out to me via support at jupiterstrategiesllc.com. But for this demonstration, I'm going to put in another email address that I'm just going to have to blur it out, or I'll try the +1 trick. Let's try the +1 trick. See how it takes that. Yes, it went ahead and took it. So let's go back to our audience. It says 40 contacts, so that's a good sign. 38 new contacts. Let's go ahead and view the contacts. And what we can see here is the +1 support +1 went to MR News. So we can see the site is now MR News. And now what I can do is I can do a new segment. So I can click this, and then I can either add or remove tags, and then I can send campaigns to certain tags only. I can also do some other stuff here, unsubscribe, resubscribe, that kind of stuff. And what I can do here is new segment, and we're going to call it signups. We're going to call it merge fields, which is site is MR News, and we're going to preview that segment. And we see that the support one went in there and subscribed. And so now I can save this segment as MR News letter. And there we go. So now I have multiple segments that I can go back to. So I'll go back to audience, and we'll go to manage audience. We'll go to, well, no, we aren't going to go there. I'm going to view contacts, and we are going to view our segments. And now we have two possible things we can do, and we can view from there. So that's basically what I wanted to show you, and I appreciate your patience as I navigate all this stuff. And I did notice some other styling things and some things that are going to have to be adjusted. I do want to go ahead and just point that out to you. When I'm filling this out, it's doing a little bit of floating stuff, and it also is turning blue a little bit. And as we start typing stuff in, so if as I'm typing things in, it's not doing anything weird now. But I thought maybe in the past I noticed that it was doing something a little bit different. But if you wanted to not have it glow this blue, because obviously when it's not focused, it's got a different thing. And I am noticing that it's moving just a little bit when you hover over it. And it's also got this little white edge of a border here. Things, small little details like that. That's things where you'd have to go in there and start messing with the code that is there a little bit more. But fundamentally, as we demonstrated, this is how you can do it. And now I have two separate groups. I have demonstrated that while all of the contacts that are either signing up here or signing up here are going to one audience, I can now segment that audience based off of source. And that is what you've seen here. You can apply this to either different websites that you have if you want them all to go back to that one account, or you can apply this to different pages if you have your embed form on multiple pages. So we've achieved the objectives of this video, and then I've shown you how to go ahead and add your stuff to multiple pages. And I just wanted to thank you for your time, and I hope that you've learned how you can use one audience and have multiple sources feeding that one audience. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me by sending me an email to support@jupiterstrategiesllc.com, or you can reach me on Facebook or in the comments if this video is on YouTube, and you can reach me through a whole variety of other means. So I just wanted to go ahead and wish you best of luck with this. Take care.